do want to play this video from a recent Real Time with Bill Maher segment, someone who we love to talk about here at the Vanguard. Yeah, let's talk about this. He had Matt Taibbi on, obviously someone we respect quite a bit here at the Vanguard. Our first book club here was over Hate Inc., which is an amazing text over the media. But yeah, let's take a look at this. I thought this was a really interesting exchange over Russiagate, of course. But yeah, let's take a look at this clip. I'm going to be fascinated to hear your guys' response in the chat and yours as well, Zach.
Be a good week to do this, because when I read you, Matt Taibbi, as I always do, about Russia, that seems to be what you're saying, the Russia-Trump connection. I don't know right? You get what I'm saying? That's your thesis, really, is that the media was like, I don't know for a fact, I just know it's true. And I just have to pick this fight with you, because I understand, you're right, the media does leap on things too soon. They don't care, they want to be first, more importantly than being accurate. But, you know, it sounds like you think that when Trump says it was a hoax, he's right, and I don't think that's the case. I mean, you said that you compared it to WMDs. You said the Russia connection with Trump is this generation's WMD. I don't think that's an accurate analogy, because there were no WMDs, but there was collusion with Russia.
Really? Like,
get ready for the truth ball.
I mean,
where? The Senate Intelligence Committee. This is run by Republicans who are, if anything, slavers to Trump. Their report said Trump campaign's interactions with Russian intelligence services during the 2016 presidential election posed a grave counterintelligence threat. Why would Republicans say that about Donald Trump?
okay, first of all, Mueller didn't say that. Second of all, they're talking about one person.
Mueller did not say that. Remember, he was like, I'm not going to not say.
It's like arguing with a child.
He pussied out, but he didn't exonerate him at all.
This story is about the alleged delivery of public polling data to a guy named Konstantin Kilimnik, who works for the International Republican Institute and was
well, he's also been described as a GRU agent. We don't really know. He's certainly something close to the people in Russia. You will admit that they had a building of people in St. Petersburg who were just assigned to rat fuck the election through Facebook, right?
Well, yeah, theoretically, they talked about $100,000 that was spent by that company.
Right, but Facebook's free.
But they never established a connection between that company and the government.
Well,
and look,
they were just doing it voluntarily in St. Petersburg.
$100,000 worth of ads, that's nothing compared to what, if they really wanted to affect the election, why not just give Trump $50 million?
9/11 didn't cost much either.
Okay.
You know?
I mean,
it's not about how much you spend.
I think
Matt Taibbi has no idea what to say.
Yeah, 9/11 didn't cost much. What?
Is that there was such a massive quantity of fake stories that did go through, from the Steele dossier to the...
Well, but the Steele dossier got right two very important things. That, you know, that Russia was waging a broad campaign to elect Trump, and that was before that was established. And the other thing that they got right was the WikiLeaks leak. I mean, that the Democrats...
This was all being written during the time when all of this was already coming out. And then the FBI actually even concluded that they couldn't find any original reporting in the Steele dossier that actually panned out. The stuff that was actually original in the Steele dossier, everything from the P-tape to the well-developed conspiracy of 5 years, the plan between the FSB and Trump, none of that panned out.
Well, the P-tape, I agree, was a tragedy.
But that was a massive story for years. I mean, we weren't talking.
Well, it was a massive story because people it was obviously, people would rather talk about P than the budget. On most shows. Not on this show. We talk about both. But that was confirmed by Mueller, that the hacks, I mean, Roger Stone, right, told WikiLeaks to release the Democratic emails, the Podesta emails, right after the Hollywood Access tape came out. And they did it within an hour. Within a day after Trump said publicly, Russia, if you're listening, I hope you can hack those emails. They started to do it. That's not collusion.
No, look. The Roger Stone indictment actually proves that the collusion theory was wrong. They even at that very late date, they were trying to reach out to WikiLeaks. If there was actually a conspiracy between WikiLeaks, Russia and Trump, they wouldn't have had Roger Stone reaching out and being told to fuck off, by the way, by WikiLeaks.
But it's not
so
a coincidence that those emails were released right after.
Yeah, but that's a completely different thing from talking about an espionage conspiracy where, you know, Trump and the Russians got together to plan to fix an election. I mean, they're allowed to talk to WikiLeaks if they think they have a big story that's going to hurt Hillary Clinton.
To pretend that all didn't happen, that they weren't in bed with the Russians. I mean, and then they did it again because they got away with it. Rudy Giuliani went to Ukraine and met with a guy who he said, at best, this is like 50-50 a Russian agent. That was his defense. Should we even be meeting with people who are at best 50-50 a Russian agent? That's how far the goalposts had moved. Like, that's not a big thing anymore.
Yeah, but Bill, the story for 3 years was Trump colluded with the Russian secret services to fix an election. It was an espionage conspiracy story that we took seriously. We were told every
because it is serious. They didn't have to be in the same room. He did it. See, the thing is with Trump is he committed his crime so publicly that people just thought it must not be a crime, because how else could you get away with that? It's like the guy who cheats on his wife right at the prime table in the most popular restaurant. And honey, if I was fucking her, would I be right here at this?
Okay, I'm pretty sure if Trump had that publicly and obviously committed these alleged crimes, pretty sure Bob Mueller would have come up with something other than diddly fucking squat at the moment of truth when everyone was waiting for him to, you know, release the Kraken, so to speak. And he came up 100% short, embarrassed all these fucking people like Bill Maher and Cenk Uygur that had been beating this Russiagate drum. And of course, that's not to say that, you know, Russia didn't want Trump to win, or that there weren't some, you know, ad dollars spent on Facebook to create some divisive memes. Yes, that stuff happened, but that stuff is much more minuscule on a scale, at least, you know, when you compare it to the election interference that the U.S. does around the country, or around the world rather. You know, that stuff is so menial and so minuscule by comparison that it's really a farce to chalk it up to this massive conspiracy that was, you know, shoved down our throats by the media for literally years. They really did have people believing that our democracy had been infiltrated. And no, it wasn't just these, you know, vague assertions. It was very grand conspiratorial notions that literally had people saying that we should redo the election, that, you know, we should escalate militarily with Russia. You know, lots of intense, you know, conclusions were drawn from this.
It was a literal low-key stop the steal before stop the steal.
It absolutely was. It absolutely was. Lots of Democratic voters, including Hillary Clinton, of course, they were incapable of accepting the results of that election. And yeah, obviously it's fucked up that the Electoral College, you know, prevented the popular vote winner from winning an election. That's fucked up regardless, but that should have been the thrust of their grievance, not some cooked up bullshit, you know, conspiracy that was unprovable.
Yeah, I mean, look, Russian collusion, you know, just like masturbation, are a problem, but we can beat it together. So, no, that's the kind of fucking memes that were being peddled by these people, right? Like, you know, like literally masturbation is a problem. We can beat it together. Like, okay, that's gonna swing the election. Like, guys, it's comical, right? It's like the troll farms that they were pointing to as like evidence, like, fucking unbelievably comical. So it just never any there. And shout out to Matt Taibbi for just maintaining his composure, just dealing with I saw somebody in the fucking, I think it was Dean B, said something about how like talking to Bill Maher is like talking to your delusional fucking uncle. Like, he just won't fucking get the point. Like, no matter how many times you explain it to him, it's just like, fucking, okay, well, what about this thing? And it's just like, what? That didn't even have anything to do with what we were saying. Like, we were talking about Russiagate, and then you were like, well, if you're fucking your sister's girlfriend or fucking your boy, whatever, in the other room, and like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, absolutely. It's totally crazy. And Bill Maher really does exemplify all those traits. He just sounds like a, you know, MSNBC talking point machine that's spent the last 5 years marinating in Rachel Maddow, essentially. So yeah, shout out to Matt Taibbi for keeping his cool and for bringing some, you know, facts and logic to the discussion. Definitely much needed on the real-time panel, usually devoid of any substance or intelligence or anything worth listening to, other than for the sake of roasting on this show, which we are grateful to do. So yeah, good stuff. I thought that was a funny clip. Good stuff worth watching.